Awaken Cohort.
And welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus One. I am Admiral Tirak of the battleship GCS Chomper, escorted, of course, as always, by the GCS Spike, as we start to wrap up the war against the Romulan Star Empire. As you can see, they are down to just a pittance number of tiles. There's, well, 7 over here and 4 over here, so we're probably going to be wrapping this up in the next few episodes. The Romulan Star Empire is not much longer for this world. So we may not even make it to the rank of Fleet Admiral this campaign. It doesn't happen all the time. As if you come down to medals, you get to see all your stuff. I actually don't know how to trigger any of these in Orion Pirates Plus. But so far, we've only made Fleet Admiral, I think, 3 times? Basically, you just need to accrue enough prestige over the course of your campaign, and they will give you greater ranks. And I'm not sure that we will actually make it to Fleet Admiral this time. But since we are currently on a tear, let's continue to be on a tear and head up north to go deal with the Romulan Star Empire. Finish ending these people. We must secure this section of the galaxy for all of Gorn kind, and something like that. So, hit the red alert. Steadily increase that speed. Pop over here. We need the Wild Weasel. Let us not forget that. It's been a couple of days since I've last played, so got to make sure that I'm not rusty at all. Forward reinforcements are up to power. Ooh, scary, actually. Yeah. Oh, God. This is Iasi. What? Okay, so we're currently squaring off against the Iasi. We came a little bit too close to their territory, and so they have decided that they're going to try and rip us apart. And they brought to do that a Battleship X and a Battleship Carrier. Okay. This is the BBX, this is the BBVX. So we're kind of outgunned here. Now, we are both proper battleships, so technically we have a little bit more, like, absolute firepower on board the ship, but they have a lot more fighters, and I'm kind of scared about launching my patrol frigates, because, yeah, we would probably die. But that probably won't be a choice that we'll get to make. Yeah, it's just the 2 vessels at this time. Keep up, Chomper. Or not Chomper, but Spike. We need to not die here. Now, they will be armed with plasma torpedoes, but also a plasmatic pulsar disruptor, or device, I suppose is the actual name for it, but plasmatic pulsar disruptor sounds cooler, which fires out a wave of plasma along a targeting beam, which hits the front shield that it's facing and the 2 shields next to it. So we are currently now buffing up the forward 3 shields because they will be the ones actually taking the damage. We were able to take great advantage of that fact when we played in our ISC campaign by the fact that the AI likes to only reinforce a single shield. And so we were able to basically... Yeah, this is what it does. So he underloaded that. You can underload... So overloading the PPD actually causes it to fire 2 additional pulses. You can also underload it to load it faster. And it'll only fire 2 pulses. The normal mode fires 4. Let's get our fighters out on defensive. It's time to get going, folks. We've got incoming plasma torpedo fire. More plasma torpedoes. Yeah, let's call it. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. We forgot to shut that off. Shield, I don't need you. Let's get the point defense systems operating at full tilt. And there goes one of our pseudo-fighters. Not good. We're going to stand by here and wait for his target to present himself. He did Wild Weasel. I think our shields are still intact. I can't quite see properly in this. Come on, go away, attack ship, so I can completely blitz his world. Please tell me you actually shot this down. Apparently not. So I'll stop. We want to be right and properly stopped in front of him. When are you going to? I'm actually really surprised that this shuttle, still exists as a thing. So, let's go. Phasers lay into him. He's about to pull out of our forward arc. Let's increase speed. So, we're not going to be able to completely wipe him out. But we did cause quite a bit of damage to him. Fire a stern-firing plasma torpedo, and then our F-type plasma torpedoes just to add into things. Wow, he's really been gutted. That initial strike was just massive. Unfortunately, this mission is going to cost us a lot of prestige already. We're not going to be able to deploy a Wild Weasel as of yet, so we have lost a shield. This is not good. Continue to keep that turn going around. Let's see if our armor can't handle most of this. Come on, more. More. A little bit more. And I would also like to be preparing another Wild Weasel, because they are important. They are lovely, lovely important pieces of equipment that can be very important to continued survival. There we go, we killed the one. So now we are just fighting the battleship carrier, whose entire fighter group has been destroyed. To be fair, our entire fighter group was destroyed, although his fighter group was bigger than ours, although probably cheaper. We had spent 424 prestige to buy our fighter group, and he had to, well, he got it for free. So long-range plasma fire going out there. Let's see if we can't get this turn to get this. Ow, that hurt a lot. Hit the all-stop button. We're going to try and defend ourselves a little bit. Oh, he still has defensive units. We got to keep this turn going. Let's get back over here. Start patching things up. We're going to need you. We're going to need you. We're going to need you. And focus all phaser fire on the fighters. That's one down. And I don't have a shot on you. And I don't have a plasma torpedo that I can shoot at you either. You currently have no weapons shift, so we'll fire a plasma torpedo your way. Let our point defense systems do the work as best as they can. That's dead. And now on to you. Wow, you are just... Slow down. Slow down. We can't afford to be taking pointless damage. Haha! Wild Weasel. And you didn't even realize it was coming. Keep firing all the phasers. We need to go for full and complete kills here. And anything you can through that hole. Okay, apparently that we weren't actually looking at that hole. So start laying into him, dealing as much damage as we can. Come around to starboard a bit. It almost looks like there's two ships melded into each other, but it's not quite that bad. And he has brought back his final fighter group. I would love to get a high energy turn going. I really would, because I currently have 2 R-type plasma torpedoes about to be ready to kill you. Increase speed a little bit. And do you have any weapons at all? Oh, you did. You were saving them. How cute. It did force another decoy shuttle, which is nice. And he's got a lot of systems offline at this time. Let's, again, make sure that we're keeping up on repairs. Somebody has decided to tractor somebody. So let's lay into him and try and tell him that we don't want him doing that to our best friend. Oh, you picked a bad time to come out of the fighter bay there. Do I got any weapons that can fire yet? I got to turn a little bit more before I can get that R-type plasma torpedo on. He's managed to cause quite a bit of damage to my shields. There we go. And we got him. We took a lot more damage in that fight than I think I wanted to, although looking over at our MFD, everything is green. But a lot more damage than we're used to taking. To be fair, a lot of the times it keeps sending us against heavy cruisers and lighter. That mission cost us badly. Hi. First of all, the 140 that we just had to spend in repairs on ourselves was more than the amount of cash that we made. Oh crap, it's a diplomatic delivery. I'm going to avoid that one. But then we also need to replace our pseudo-fighters, which is expensive. Oof. That's a real kind of kick in the gut right there. So let's go missions, take the patrol, because I really don't want to fight a diplomatic delivery. I don't know why. They're not hard missions to accomplish, but for some reason they just really annoy me. Probably because every time, well, most of the time we end up actually taking the mission is we're passing through a sector and suddenly are forced to stop. Oh, looks like the Andromedans have showed up again. 2 little tiny frigates, potentially possible to do maximum damage. They're not armed with any sort of seeking weapons so far as I can remember. So I'm also going to order you. Thank you. So I want specific weapons control on that so that I can actually, dish out the damages. We should be able to kill them from long range. I don't believe they have shuttles. Might be wrong on that, but I don't think they do. And if that's the case, we should be able to kill them all in one pass. So basically everybody is now skulking along at... you're doing a speed of 11. You should pull in front. Yeah, you've pulled slightly in front. Our decoy is ready. We're not going to need it. They don't have any plasma torpedoes or anything like that. We'll prep up for the traditional one and then the rest, but I think just an entire screw you barrage ought to do it. And there's his mauler? Wait, what? I didn't realize they could be mauler equipped. Let's fire a plasma torpedo, but I'm fairly certain that you have no sort of defense against that. Yeah, that hit. And this ought to kill him. Yeah, Andromedan ships are not quite as terrifyingly deadly as I remember them being. Oh no, I'm thinking the Interstellar Dreadnought. So way back in Season 1, we ran into this amazing piece of equipment called the Interstellar Dreadnought. Or Intergalactic Dreadnought? Basically, it was this gigantic, white, huge, I think automated dreadnought that had a completely invulnerable forward shield. And it basically ripped apart our entire dreadnought group at the time. It was kind of sad, because we had recently bought a heavy dreadnought and it had died. So, maintained control of that sector, push out over to here. Basically, the point of this campaign today, I think we're going to try and see if we can't finish off these 3 tiles up here, but we may not be able to do it. I mean, an asteroid base assault can take a long time under the right circumstances. Luckily, this time, the Spike does not have pseudo-fighters to waste. I'm still a little salty about that. The fact that he just basically threw his pseudo-fighters away for no apparent reason. Of course, the AI is not that intelligent. It just sends fighters after whatever it can get its hands on. But still, if they ever decide to remake this game or make Starfleet Command 4 set in the same era, yeah, long shot, I know, I'd like to see some improvements on the AI's use of fighters. Also, the AI's ability to actually have fighters from different eras. So let's send a probe his way, find out exactly what he's armed with. He's only a frigate, but we've seen Romulan frigates, and they can be armed with things as heavy as 3 plasma torpedoes. This one is not. It's just a single G-type plasma torpedo. There's also a light cruiser over here. You've probably got a much heavier armament than that. So I'm going to focus on you. We're going to set target. And we're also going to make sure that we're setting this to the off button. I don't want to be wasting the time on that. And I'll slow down a bit, because I'm anticipating he's going to fire his plasma torpedo at me. So let's get... Okay, that was a thing. He's still a range of 15 away, man. Half your... Well, no, they'll all make it, but... He's still going to deploy a Wild Weasel, no doubt. Or maybe not. Where's that Wild Weasel? No, he decided the best course of action was to take a long-range shot. Never mind, Spike. I will defer to your tactical acumen from now on. Because that was, frankly, genius. The fact that he just got the whole thing through. 2 R-type plasma torpedoes heading right for you. What do? Of course, you Wild Weasel. Let us slow down, get that forward shield up to a maximum bounce capability. More than able to just completely take that incoming fire and ignore it. Increase our speed again. And everything we've got. Wow, our phasers didn't cut through his forward shields. I'm actually kind of surprised. I suppose it makes sense. It did spread out over 2 shields. But still, good show. A little bit closer. Hope the phaser 3s can finish them off. They can. And now we'll target the asteroid base. The asteroid base does have a fairly impressive forward weapon. It does have 4 phaser 4s, which can, I think, rip through the frontal shields on our ship. However, we do have the advantage of range, because our R-type plasma torpedo can be fired from much further out. So, also don't think that he's got any sort of point defense system. Or by point defense system, I mean ability to launch Wild Weasels. I think asteroid bases can't do that. I always think about this, remember it at some point, and then forget pretty promptly about it. But I'm fairly certain asteroid bases don't actually have shuttles. Normal bases do, but not asteroid. So we're basically just going to soar on in here. Let's bring up the shield screen, just so I know exactly how much damage I'm taking. And we'll slow down just a little bit. We want to be able to get in there at something of a reasonable speed. Okay, that was a little bit unnecessary. Okay, he is now firing plasma torpedoes at him, so it becomes more unnecessary. They still did 36 damage despite the range they had to travel. That's pretty impressive. Slow down the speed of time, and engage with all plasma torpedoes. Just send a wave assault at them. The F-types may not make it, now that I'm thinking about it, but everything else definitely will. And 130 damage was not enough to cause any significant damage. No, the 33 damage also did not cause much damage. He has fired his F-type plasma torpedoes at a much better range than the one we did. They ought to actually deal some damage when they finally make it. Most of his phaser 3s are offline, for whatever that's worth to you. Unfortunately, none of our other weapons are. However, it doesn't matter, because he just gave a full blast into our forward shields and wasn't able to punch through. So that's pretty good. Continue to slowly creep up on this target. And I do want to be watching the shield screen, just in case. We should be able to get an entire blast from phasers. I'm spreading out the phaser fire because I was hoping to deal a little bit of damage to his phaser 4s, which are the important target. He's got apparently more plasma torpedoes. I suppose that is the advantage from firing from that that long distance. And there it goes. Asteroid base annihilated. Good show. Good job. The glowing hot asteroid falling apart after being melted by plasma. 114 prestige, pretty much nothing. But hey, you take what you can get. We'll pop up here into the black hole space where we must raid a convoy. Because apparently the Gorn High Command doesn't quite know what to do with us anymore. Yeah, we've got two battleships. What are we going to do? Send them into the black hole to go after an enemy convoy. You got it, sir. Let's see what else we've got here. So, a fighter, a fighter, a fighter, a fighter. Where's the command vessel in charge of those fighters? There it is. You can barely see it along that little nebula back there. But he has launched a significant number of pseudo-fighters. Let's get our own deployed as soon as we can. I don't think we can launch them yet, though. Yeah, the shuttle bay is not yet ready. Forward shields to maximum, please. Because we're about to eat a lot of firepower. And as soon as we can, let's deploy the pseudo-fighters. One's out. Two's out. Prepare to engage with phasers. Preferably the back one, because the front ones are just going to get absolutely smoked. What's the range that this will finally open up at? Hopefully soon. Also, defenses. Shut that off. One. No more phasers. Okay, that was our contribution. And, oh, please tell me that we crunch through all of them before they get a shot off. Oh no, he's going to get a shot off on one of our pseudo-fighters. Oh, bring you back. I don't want to lose you. Pseudo-fighters, too expensive to want to lose. Target the big ship. Any weapons available? Nothing. We do have a wild weasel ready to go. Pseudo-fighter is actually firing its plasma torpedo already, which is pretty cool. And his face is busted through. Good job, little buddy. That's just great. The amount of firepower that the massively upgraded pseudo-fighter can do is just hilariously strong. Okay, so we took out the first group. I'm thinking, yep, you're a Q-ship. You're an enemy. Once we get to a certain range, the Q-ship will freak out and decide, oh, now's the time to expose the fact that I'm a Q-ship. Which I suppose does make a certain amount of sense. I mean, realizing that we're now coming to destroy the convoy, well, you either fight or die. And also, it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to launch yourself at the beginning, because what kind of firepower are you going to add to the pseudo-fighter battalion? So our little, wonderful, fun little pseudo-fighter going around, doing his evil, damaging work. Let's get our other fighter out again. This freighter could potentially hurt him. Romulan freighters, especially their Q-ships, tend to have some pretty serious heavy firepower on them. Like, I'm talking 2 plasma torpedoes. They have some of the best Q-ships in the game because of that. I mean, the amount of damage they can put out is just phenomenal. So we're lined up, we're ready with an R-type plasma torpedo. Our forward shields are fully reinforced. We are not wasting any time on the point defense phaser system because we don't need it. And, yeah, we're getting ready to kill. Did you fire already? Oh, no, it was you. I thought for a second one of our pseudo-fighters had fired, but no, it had not. It was just the Spike blitzing a massive long-range blast at the enemy. So we'll fire our single R-type plasma torpedo. I'm expecting a wild weasel at any moment, but if he doesn't start slowing down soon, he's going to die. No, he decided to just take it. Okay. So that's the Q-ship and the one freighter that he had opened up on. Another Q-ship. Ooh, so apparently this was another one of those trap convoys. Not the full trap convoy like the one time that we were on it, where we're like, what, 3? I think there were 3 Q-ships and like light cruisers or something like that. We'll only use phasers on this because our lovely little pseudo-fighter is already engaged with his plasma torpedoes, and we don't want to double up too much. Encourage them to actually, you know, do stuff. Phasers were enough. Okay, let's get to the real work now. I'm going to fire an R-type plasma torpedo right in your direction, and that ought to take care of you no problem. You could not survive that much firepower, and you are getting an S-type plasma torpedo. Yeah. Convoy work when you're a battleship, kind of a waste. Just a little bit. Just a wee little bit. So yeah, the plasma torpedoes ought to take care of him no problem, and target destroyed. That's why you don't traverse the black hole without higher protection of some kind. Actually, they did have a pretty nice protective measure. 4 pseudo-fighters can deal a lot of damage. That is theoretically 16 plasma torpedoes, which is 320 damage. So I can't knock the protection level too much, because that's not horrible. And a patrol. Looks like we might be able to wipe out this pocket in one episode. And then there will be 7 more tiles. Hit the red alert, and it's an abandoned vessel sitting in the middle of nowhere. Quickly, let's come over here and say, you're not allowed to shoot until I tell you to shoot. We'll also come in here and make sure that we have a wild weasel being prepped, and make sure that we're getting up to full speed. Forward shields I want reinforced up to the maximum level, and we'll take a look at him with the transporter, and it looks like he's carrying medical supplies. Important medical supplies. Obviously, he was taking it to our forces, flying through Romulan space at the time, and we had hired him to transport our medical supplies. See? Every so often, when we're stealing the medical supplies off a disabled ship, it was actually we're just recovering it. This ship suffered catastrophic radiation engine damage. The entire crew died, and so they can't bring the medical supplies to the people on the planets that are nearby. So they sent us to take care of it. There, I managed to come up with us not being total jerks and not just stealing a dying ship's medical supplies. Instead, the whole crew had to die for that. Okay, moving on. Increase the speed. So get ready to beam the medical supplies away. It is, of course, going to be ours. Our decoy is prepared. Let's prep another one, just in case. It is only a light cruiser, but you never quite know. I mean, it could just be a case of suddenly the universe ends. Goodbye, Gothic. We knew you well. Not really. But your contract wasn't too expensive, so we have no hard feelings. He is armed with 2 S's and 2 F-type plasma torpedoes. Engage with the R-type plasma torpedo. Let's slow down and let's bump this off the forward shield. Cut off any sort of reinforcement there. Okay, stand by for killing. All weapons select on both the Jaya Heart. The Jaya Heart? And the attack shift goes away. Goodbye. Just, yeah. That was, yeah. He didn't really have much choice. A light cruiser getting hit by a R-type plasma torpedo in the face is kind of something you don't come back from very easily, but still, yeah. So, we have managed to sterilize this pocket up here, and we will continue heading down south in order to start taking on the remaining, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles now, so there was an update, and they did take more. So we will head down south and try and contain what is left of the Romulan Star Empire, but that will be for another day. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these episodes, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.